If you had to summarize your academic comeback in like one sentence, what would you say?
I went from pretty lazy, a little unproductive, confused, to really like active, very productive, very organized. It wasn't the best feeling walking around like bad grades, I guess. After that and just getting bad marks, I just got sick of it. That just made me like want to flick a switch and just, step out of your comfort zone for a second. In the end, it's all going to be for you. I got a 91.6 ATAR and ranked 4th in the state for our standard English. I didn't believe it. I just sat there like, no way, this is real. And like, it was just shocked. Pain of discipline or the pain of regret. That's a massive one that'll help you keep going forward. I kept telling myself it will be worth it in the end.
Can you tell me what your name is and what state you're in?
Yep, Kristian Francis in New South Wales.
Nice. Yes, Kristian, one of my, I won't say favorites, but the transformation you had was crazy. So can you tell me, Kristian, if you had to summarize your academic comeback in like one sentence, what would you say? Like using the framework of I went from X to Y. Like just one sentence, how would you summarize your journey?
Okay, I went from, pretty lazy, a little unproductive, confused, to really like active, very productive, very organized, and just onto everything.
Awesome, man. That sounds good. So can you tell me, like before joining Dux Academy, what would you say your marks like? What were your average marks like? What were your marks like before joining?
They weren't horrible, but they weren't good. I'd say maybe around in year 11, it was around like 60 to like 75%, nothing over really 80s.
Yep. And did that, so I do remember your marks were around 60 to 75. And what about year 12? Was it the same like that? But did you join Dux Academy in year 12 or was it in year 11?
I joined after the first term of year 12, so in the holidays.
Yes, that's exactly right. So how was your first term of year 12 like?
Yeah, it was just like the same as year 11.
Yeah, 60 to 70?
Yeah, 60 to 75.
Yeah, that's right. So can you tell me, what were you struggling with most before you joined the program? Like, I know before at the start of the this interview, you said like, I was like lazy and blah, blah. But if you had to summarize, like before joining the program, what was like your biggest struggles that you feel was making you get that 60%?
Yeah, well, like just being able to organize my time and study efficiently. That was a big thing. Learning how to study was what Dux Academy really helped me to do. And also gave me a lot of motivation to just push forward.
Yeah, sounds good, man. And what about, and this is a question, even the other people I interview, like this is always a fascinating question. Like what was for you, Kristian, the lowest point that made you be like, all right, things have to actually change? Because like, in year 11, throughout year 11, you've been just said you kept getting 60 and 70 the whole time. Even the first term, you kept getting 60, 70. So what made you be like, you know what, I cannot do this anymore. I need to actually change. Like what moment was that?
Yeah, well, at the end of year 11, really, I didn't really see year 12, like in term 4 of after year 11 finished. After that and just getting bad marks, I just got sick of it. And I just didn't want to continue getting bad marks because my HC would be bad. And that just really like make me feel really bad and degrade me, I guess. And yeah, I was just sick of, being average and, just wanted to be up there. There was actually at a high achievers assembly at my school. I was watching them and I'm like, it'd be pretty cool to be up there next year. So like, that just made me like want to flick a switch and just.
That's sick. That is sick. So what about like, how did it make you feel? Because I mean, to be getting those same average results the whole time, how did that make you feel at, like day to day at school with I know, I've spoken to your parents, they're very supportive. Like, did you like feel like, oh man, I'm disappointing them, or like, like how did that make you feel?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It wasn't the best feeling walking around like with bad grades, I guess. Like just both mentally and physically, it's a bit draining.
Yeah.
Especially when I was working so hard. Like obviously I didn't know how to study, but I was working hard.
You were, yes.
Working hard, and that's what it felt like.
You just reminded me, and maybe you can recap right now, just so for other people watching this. I do remember like when you, booked a call and wanted to join, like it's not like you weren't even trying, like you were trying, you did put in the effort, but you were still getting 60 and 70, is that right? Yeah, that's right. So can you tell me what other things, so we're still talking about before Dux Academy, what other things did you try before joining? Were you doing like tutoring? Were you just watching videos? Were you just like trying to study hard? Like what did you do and why do you feel like it didn't actually work for you?
Yeah, well, I did tutoring, but tutoring was once a week. So for that first hour tutoring, like it was really good. But after that, I just did no follow-up and it just got pushed out basically. And it wasn't used. That was really it. Watched some YouTube videos trying to find out how to study, but they were pretty boring and not really enjoyable.
Yeah.
And then found
that makes sense. And what about like, I just want to quickly talk about that tutoring thing, because it's a funny pattern. Every single student I've interviewed, they said the same thing, like they had tutoring before joining, right? Do you feel like part of the reason why tutoring wasn't effective for you, apart from the fact that like after the lesson you had no idea what to do, do you feel like you actually did understand the content well? It's just you didn't know what to do with it. Is that right? Yeah,
100%.
right. And like it's actually crazy. Like every single student says the same thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when I speak about like how tutoring won't get your comeback, some of them get offended, but like it's just true.
Yeah,
You know what I
no.
mean? It's got nothing to do with the. It's got nothing to do with the tutor. It's just that's not your problem. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Yeah. All right. So now let's talk about when you first heard about like me in the program. What was like your first reaction? Did you not believe it? Was it like too good to be true?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
what were you skeptical
Like,
about?
literally, I was just, scrolling on Instagram, YouTube, just you popped up everywhere. And I just kept seeing it. And I talked to my mates about it. And I'm like, nah, that's all crap. It's like,
Yeah.
and I was looking into it. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll just talk to this guy for a bit, see how he is.
There you go, that one decision. And what made you almost, I know on the call you were super, super like ready to join and like you wanted to do it straight away. I remember how pumped up you were,
Mm.
but maybe before that, what made you almost not even book that call? Or like what were you or maybe your parents were worried about? Like did that any pop up at all?
Not really. It was just that second thought of like, actually, honestly, like I didn't really mind because even if it wasn't a real thing, it wouldn't hurt to try.
Exactly right. 100%. Yeah, no, I did. Honestly, hats off to you, man. Like I remember that call, you were like, you wanted to change straight away. Like
Yeah.
honestly, that's one that's one trait I actually believe. We'll speak about more about that in a second. But one trait of you that I really think allowed you to do well is that you just wanted to change like now, like straight away. You know what I mean? So that's very important. All right, let's talk about when you actually joined the program itself, right? When you first joined, what were some immediate changes that you made with maybe how you studied, with how you thought, or just in general? Like what were the first things that you started to change that actually, started to make you see improvements?
Yeah. All right. Well, after watching all your videos, the first thing I really did was put a routine in. And like, I reckon that routine just completely reorganized my life and just gave me something to do all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I just felt very, structured. That just helped me study better.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. All your study videos were very helpful, like how to take notes, syllabus planning, all that stuff. That really like gave me like a jump ahead of all the other people in my class and like just pass papers all the time. Really
yeah, 100%. And so do you feel like, I guess for anyone watching this, do you feel like people who start off with like structuring their lives, that's like the good starting step to change everything else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Do you feel like before joining you lacked a lot of direction or what you actually want?
100%.
And out of everything inside of the program, right? Obviously, as you know, we have the modules and then we have the calls and then we have like the community and the accountability, all that stuff. What do you feel out of all those components? What like is the one thing that really like you found the most helpful out of all those?
I reckon the calls were always very helpful. They're always there to just answer any questions that you had just come up in your head. But also the videos were very detailed and like they really dug deep into the issue before coming back out and giving you a solution so you can really understand what to do with it. And yeah, that was just a big game changer that really helped me understand everything.
Yeah, that's what most people say. It's like it's the modules because that's like the core change. And something that I think you said it very subtly there. It's like one thing about the program itself is that we won't teach you like just tips and tricks. Like we're actually going deep within and telling you like why this happens and why that happens, which I think contributed to you being able to consistently do well. So that's sick. And then what about like how much time were you actually spending on Dux Academy per day or per week, if you can remember?
Oh, well, at the start, doing all the modules, I was probably on that like first couple of weeks, I was on it like maybe 5 hours, maybe. And then after I finished all the modules, it just slowly died down a little bit. I'd come up and check if like just the feed and whatever, anything important popped up and if I had any questions. But later on in the year, when I had everything sorted, I didn't really use it that much.
Yeah. But you were applying it though, of course.
Yeah.
You were applying that thing. Yeah, 100%. So like you watched the videos, you pumped that out, and then you applied it, and then you kept coming back for questions, and you just kept applying it. Yeah, that's sick. All right, let's talk about the juicy stuff now. All right. So just a recap, I know you already said it at the start, but before Dux Academy, what were your marks on average?
Yeah.
What were they?
60 to 75.
Okay, 60 to 75. Now, what about now? What ATAR did you get? Tell us what were your achievements now?
Oh, well, I got a 91.6 ATAR and ranked 4th in the state for our standard English.
That is insane, bro. Ranked 4th in the state for standard. That is crazy. How did you react? Please, Kristian. Like, I wish you recorded it and told me. I wish you recorded it and sent it. Like, how did you react? First of all, that ATAR is crazy because that's what you're aiming for, 90 plus ATAR. But on top of that, the state rank, like how did you react?
I didn't believe it. I just sat there like, no way, this is real. And like, it was just shocked. But crazy, it felt so good. So good.
Yeah. Like even when I got your message that you got, 91.65 and 4th in the state, I was expecting it, but I was still so shocked. I was like, wow, bro, that's insane. Which is so good. And how did your mum react and your parents?
She was crazy. They were all super proud,
Yeah.
crazy.
That's great. I
Yeah.
don't know if you remember this. I don't know if you remember this, but in our first call we had, like when you were joining, I said to you and your mum, I was like, okay, imagine end of the year, he opens up his laptop and gets a 90 plus ATAR. How would you react? And that
Yeah.
actually end up happening. That's crazy, bro. That is crazy, man. Okay. And out of all the results you've gotten, what would you say, like, what are you most proud of? Is it the ATAR? Is it the state rank? Is it the fact that maybe something before that? Like, what are you most proud of?
I think my most proudest moment was like probably the last week of the HSC, last couple of weeks. I was completely like drained, but
Mm,
I decided to just keep my head down and keep pushing because I only had
mm.
2 weeks left, and I kept telling myself it will be worth it in the end, which it was. And yeah, I'm just proud of myself for just sticking to that.
So good, man. I'm proud of you, bro. I'll tell you that
Yeah,
much.
thanks, bro.
And what about outside of marks? You know, now you're starting a new chapter of your life. The
Yeah,
ATAR's done now.
yeah.
How do you feel now after going through Dux Academy? Like, do you feel more confident? Do you feel less stressed? Like, how's your life now after going through all those modules?
Yeah, honestly, like Dux Academy isn't only good for, school. It's also, it like reshapes your head as well, just to get out into the world. And it just gives you like small little tips on how to improve yourself, not only for studying, but, for personal life. And
Mhm.
I reckon moving on now, it's just, honestly, it's made me like a little more clearer and like
Yeah,
what's to do,
100%.
a little more confident. But yeah, it's been really helpful.
Yeah, and then like make sure you don't forget, man. Like everything you apply in uni, and I promise you're gonna find
Oh
uni so
yeah,
much easier, bro.
yeah,
Yeah, 100%. And you actually said something that I just realized. So a lot of students, and you're the student who I refer to. There's many other students too, but you're a prime example of this. A lot of Year 12 students think that if they mess up term one, they can't get the ATAR they want.
yeah,
Now you did mess up term one. You're getting
yeah.
60, 70%, but yeah, you end up getting all this result. So can you tell me right now, and the people watching this, if you mess up term one, can you still make a comeback?
100%, bro.
There we
100%.
go. So many times, and people think,
Yeah,
oh, but it might be too late. Blah, blah, blah. This guy's a perfect example of this.
yeah, never too.
Yeah, 100%. And okay, a few more questions before we wrap this off. If a student like old you, Kristian, was watching this, right? As you can see, there's a lot of students Year 12 now, and a lot of students Year 11. Like, if the version one of Kristian is watching this right now, what would you say to them? What advice would you give
Join Dux Academy. Yeah.
them?
Structure your life out. Get a plan going because you want to know what you're doing all day. Like for school or just in general.
Well, in school and just in general, because like obviously apart from joining Dux Academy, like if you genuinely think that you're talking to your younger self, like what's
Okay.
one piece of advice? It's like if you knew earlier, it could be something simple like step outside of your comfort zone, or like it doesn't have to be complicated.
Yeah. Really take failure as a step towards success. Failure is the best thing that is for you, that can be there for you, and it just helps bring you closer to what you want to achieve.
That's powerful, bro.
That was a big thing for me. Failure was
I
a big
love that, man. I love that. A lot of people hate the idea of failing. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And there's actually a quote I heard once is like, if you knew how much you had to fail to succeed, you would just want to fail.
Yeah.
Because like on the way to success, you have to fail. Yeah.
Mm.
That's good, man. And finally, if two more things actually. Number one, if a student right now is watching this, and because the truth is, Kristian, like, and as I'm sure you would agree with, tutoring is a very traditional thing now. Like everyone does it, and like it is what it is. So imagine a student right now who wants to join Dux Academy, is a little bit hesitant on it, like, oh, but like maybe
Yeah.
tutoring is. What would you tell them? Because you had to overcome the same barrier. I mean, you just said before,
Yeah.
like when you saw me, it's like, oh, this is probably not worth it. But then you end up, best decision. So what would you tell that person who's kind of hesitant to go?
Yeah, well, step out of your comfort zone for a second because in the end, it's all going to be for you. So try and do what's best for you. Having a small talk to you won't change anything, even if they do or not. Well, if they do,
Exactly.
be upgraded. But like if they don't, it's all right. At least you had, you went out of your comfort zone and had a talk to try and find something.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And that's genuine advice because you even said yourself, like even though you felt like, oh, no, probably not for me, you still just booked the call for the sake of booking the call and you end up loving it in the end. So, and what about, now this is a big one, parents especially. Now, your mom was different. She was very like open-minded, but some
Yeah.
parents, because again, tutoring is very traditional and, what would you tell a parent who's watching this and is maybe scared to take a step like this for their own kid? What would you tell them?
Well, as a parent, I'd be very skeptical of it. It's just some random course that apparently helps you like get a highlight. So obviously I do some research into it and just openly talk to my parent about what you preach in your videos and how you get better. And I mean all of it's backed up. So there's no
Exactly
other
right.
parent to just
Exactly right.
go.
Yeah, 100%. And even like even on the call when you first joined, like you know, I showed you and your mom like, the results and all this stuff, and I have to hats off to your mom too, bro. Your mom was very. I hope you gave her a good hug for this. She was very supportive for you, man. She was like, she was very open minded. She wanted to support you, so that's a very good thing too. Awesome, man. Any final words before you wrap this off to your to the people who are watching this, people who are just like you. By the way, I speak with a lot of students every day, and some of them are literally just like you. They got 60% in term one, and they need someone to lift them back up. So, any final words before we wrap this off, bro?
Yeah, well, this is literally one of your quotes from one of your modules, but you know, pain of discipline or the pain of regret, that's a massive one that'll help you keep going forward.
Damn, 100%. That is, I literally have that on my wall. That is one of the most powerful quotes. Pain of discipline or pain of regret.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you so much for this interview. I really appreciate it. I guarantee you this has inspired a lot of students, you know, because some people I can sit here and talk about like me and this and that, but when you see other people like you actually end up doing it and becoming a state rank, that's just absolutely insane, man. So thank you so much for this interview, and I wish you the best for the next chapter, man.
Thank you very much.